you all doing? So we're 259 days in. 259. 259 comes to the storm. 118 plus quantum leap 141. Maybe they're important names as well. But they come to 259 days. So who's in the chat? Let's see. Where's everyone? Here we go. Hey, Corinne from Virginia Beach. Shay Wiggum, the actor, is in he's Mission Impossible film, and he's also in the F1 film. Christine, Lisa, Syrian, Angela, Sandy from Denmark. What, in Copenhagen? So 259, and I mentioned this yesterday, but today is the anniversary. Today is 8 years ago that President Trump did the famous, hang on, how did he do it? Like that, the Q mark, when he said, could be the calm, what's this? Could be the calm before the storm. Hey David, good, how are you? The calm before the storm. And then they said, what storm, Mr. President? So that happened October 6th, 2017, which was a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the first Q post. And that's 8 years ago, an 8-year delta today. And we had all the naval ceremony proceedings yesterday. I saw very quick clips of that with the boat, with the ship and everyone there. It's interesting how they had their like neckerchiefs, their scarves tied. It looked like the X, looked like the chromosome X. Did anyone else notice that? And it made me think of Watch the Water, because all the naval stuff going on. Military, but naval. Also, one of the groups I'm in put out a note from the British government, and they were saying about being prepared for certain things, like having a little bit of kind of food reserves, water reserves, that sort of stuff, and also about protecting your like documents in plastic, like waterproofing them, like passports and things like that. So I was like, huh, does that mean it's going to get wet? I mean, a storm will get people wet, but where? I mean, water's above, water's below. One of the things in The Dark Knight, in one Batman Begins, and I guess kind of feeding into Dark Knight Rises, is at the end of Batman Begins, you've got these, you've got the water supply, and it's kind of has something done to it, and it ignites all like the manhole covers, which are kind of like little sinkholes, and all the steam comes up, and I wonder if we're going to see something like that. I wonder if the storm, one of the things with the storm, the Black Swan event, seeing the increase in sinkholes and revealing what's underneath. But also accompanying with it, as I said before, there's a miracle coming with it. And in the F1 film, they referred to the Black Swan. Well, they refer to the swan a lot, but the Brad Pitt character says to Joshua Pierce, the other guy, the young driver, and he's a black actor, and he's saying swan, so it's like Black Swan. But his numbers, 122, come to White Swan, which is America first. And so there might be something with that as well. Depending, I guess, on what side of the fence you are, it will be a White Swan or a Black Swan event, or both. I think probably both, really. So a Black Swan event, and doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but it's necessary, and I think it will reveal some dark things. The world needs to wake up, but also accompanying it. Hey Tracy, good to see you. But accompanying it, it will be a good thing as well. And interestingly enough, Black Swan 86 tunnel, white swan 122 America First, millennium 122, add them together, comes to 208, which comes to Paul Dennis Bushnell, my cousin Paul, a big part of the numbers for me. Two beams of light when I was there at 9/11 in 2021. The two beams of light were there with the towers, and that's 208 Paul Dennis Bushnell when I saw them close, up front close, coming across on the ferry and also actually on the land nearby. But also, just as I'm talking through it, so celestial is 86, which is black swan, which is tunnel. So both sides are the numbers. And then Highland is 86, but also the word celestial. Celestial. And pyramid is 86. So if you do black swan, 86, pyramid, celestial, add white swan, 122, it comes to 208. So celestial millennium is 208, which is also quantum system, which is also immortal, eternal life. So whichever way you want to go with the numbers, folks, you've got options. You've got, look at the sun over there. Can you see the sun? There you go. There it is. We've had quite a lot of weather and dust in the last 24 hours. We had the storm a couple of days ago. A lot of dust being kicked up with it as well. But today and yesterday were pleasant days. So it's fresh, but it's pretty. It's beautiful, and the sunset over there is lovely. So. $143 in the chat. Paul Bushnell. Ground Zero, 143. November 5th. 143. Hey Nadine. And hit the hype button if you would. Yesterday we got a lot of views on the video, but for some reason it seems like they kind of suppressed it a bit, even though they're not allowed to, but they still seem to be. So they kind of squashed it. You can't really see it in the feed. I can't see it in the back. I can. I have to go. I have to jump through some hoops to find the video. Usually you just see all my lives all in a list and it's not there, but it is when I see comments. So I think they throttled that a bit yesterday. So I'm wondering what I said yesterday. There may have been two on point. Interesting. Yeah, what year do we live in? Do we even live in a year? I mean, if the past, present, and future is all one, do we even, at times, calendars, measuring systems, are they even relevant? I guess at some level, probably no. No hype button today. Huh. That's naughty. Are they squashing it again? Come on. Come on, YouTube. Pull your finger out. It's been 5 years of heavy censorship. And you self-confessed to your naughtiness the other day. And there's going to be lawsuits on that as well. Hopefully the RV and everything else is all before that, so we won't need to worry about it. But yeah, there'll be a class action lawsuit against it all soon, I'm sure. Corinne, so no hype button yesterday either. That's strange. I think they limit you to 3, so maybe all you super dupers have hit the button 3 for the last, or at least 3 videos a week, and then it expires, so maybe it comes back for you then. But has anyone maybe not tuned in over the last couple of days, and do you have a hype button? Maybe you can check that for us. Do you have a hype button? If you haven't hit the hype button in the last 3 or 4 days, you probably maybe got 1 or 2 hypes left. So it'd be interesting to find out if you've got a hype button. It's interesting as well what they actually show us. So when we do a search, what comes up for you and what comes up for me? Okay, so it restarts on Monday. Okay. So you've, for the people, you've used all your 3 hype buttons, yeah? Is that right? Okay. And is it 3 hypes per creator, or is it 3 hypes just for any videos you watch during the course of a week on YouTube? I wonder. Anyway, the hype button seems to be helpful, and I seem to have many hypes on the videos, so thankful for that. Thank you for those things. But it's strange, and now we're stuck. So weird. Now it's like it's been on 143, which is my cousin Paul. So hey, buddy. Been on there for like the last 2 minutes. Hey Sam, no, I don't think so. I think that will go. I think all of these things are just, you know, it's shake, rattle, and hum, to coin a YouTube song, a U2 song, or maybe an album of theirs. But all these things are just to get people to the precipice. There's a John Cleese clip with Keanu Reeves. Interesting enough, I've met both of those. I've met Keanu, Neo, and I've met John Cleese. And I can't remember the film that it's from, but there's a point where they're discussing and saying that people lack the will to change. And then John Cleese is saying, well, help us. And he's like saying, only on the precipice will people find the will to change. And so that's what's happening. People are getting to the precipice. The piss of the press. Precipice. Taking the piss. There's a play on words there. There's a sign here in the UK, in the local area. They've had it up for months, and it says Keir exit route. So apparently there's an area or a road called Keir, which is slightly different spelling from Keir Starmer. You know what, he was a lot. It's interesting, the one with Cleese, because I've seen pictures of him with, you know, like black eyes and things like that. But the Cleese that I met, I have to say, his light signature was very strong. I've spoken to him a few times since, but his light signature was interesting. It was high. He's going to be retired soon, so there's a film of his coming out in the next few months saying basically pack it in, which is a phrase that my grandfather Sydney used to use, and it's come up in the front of the newspapers a few times, so when he's saying hello. But John Cleese, I met in person, and his light signature was, this is all before 2020, so my awareness and attuneness of this has become far more heightened, but I was still always aware of certain things, and definitely when I met people with a certain signature, if it was quite out of the ordinary, I'd remember it. And his wasn't bad, the one I met. So he may have been 2.0 then. I don't know. Unfortunately, Keanu's wasn't good. He was a repentant vampire. I've said that before, and it's okay for entertainment purposes to say that here on YouTube. But that was his energy signature, and you couldn't really tell until you met him in person, because even on the TV, it looks all like, he looked like a corpse, really. And I've met a few of them that look like corpses. But John Cleese wasn't. He had a twinkle in his eye, which is quite surprising, according to the kind of narrative of what people might think when they've followed the breadcrumbs of what we've been told. So that's my first-hand experience with both of those characters. So I don't know, maybe he was swapped out. I met Bear Grylls once as well, and his signature, his energy signature was all right. I think he might be 2.0 or a walk-in. It wasn't dark. He was kind of aware of me and wondering what my questions were, because I asked him about aliens once, and he knew what I was asking, but the audience didn't really want to receive it. So, but his wasn't dark. Bear Grylls wasn't, although look at the people he's had on his show. So he might be 2.0 or a walk-in. I don't know, but the one that I met, his signature was pretty decent. But there are others that I've met that were just dark. It just wasn't right. I met a few of them in the Truther movement like that as well, actually. I'm not going to name names, let people figure out for themselves, but I've met people with dark energy imprints, and you wouldn't think that necessarily from watching their shows, but nevertheless, when you meet them, although to be fair, they do leave they do tell you in plain sight what they're up to, but people still dismiss it because that's that's how all this works. People don't want to hear the truth or see the truth. They pretend it's something else. But yeah, John Cleese was all right. So he might have been swapped, but his energy signature and the twinkling in his eye was all right when I met him, which probably counterintuitive. Hence, I'm wondering whether he was. That's it. Thanks. That's the movie. Yeah. Thanks, Tutti. So maybe. Yeah, that's why I'm leaving the possibility that he was 2.0 or something, or a walk-in. So yeah, John Cleese, Bear Grylls, all right. Probably John Cleese was more sparkly than Bear Grylls, but unfortunately Keanu, Idris Elba wasn't good, which is kind of obvious. Quentin Tarantino, definitely not good. It almost felt like some of your goodness being sucked away when you met him. And there's a few people like that have been in and around the movement. Although, having said that as well, sometimes they can change, and I've met some since, and they kind of cover that feeling. So it's a tricky game, folks. It's a tricky game. Interesting, yeah. It's a tricky game. So, but yeah. The day the earth stood still. I'll have to see if I can dig that one up. Rumblings. But yeah, a significant day. A significant day. It's the 8-year delta of President Trump's. Could be the calm before the storm. You'll find out. It's soon, folks. It's very soon. He does, doesn't he? Soon he does. He just doesn't look right. And look at the content of his films. That's the other thing, you know. Celebrating blood and guts, basically. I mean, that's never a good sign, is it? You know. Yeah. And you know what's interesting as well? Both Idris Elba and Quentin Tarantino. So I've met hundreds of these sorts of people through the years, and a lot of them have come up during the timeline in The Awakening. But both Tarantino and Idris Elba, who plays Luther in that TV show, both of them point blank refused a photo with me. And I've met hundreds of these types, and never. You probably remember the ones that don't give you the photo, and both of those two didn't. I think there's a third one that I'm trying to think of. Oh, another one, Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey in Star Wars. I think she was with her girlfriend at the time. I saw her in Marylebone, and I just had my shopping. She looked quite nondescript, but I recognised. I was like, I recognise you from somewhere. I couldn't think who, and then I realised it was her. I said, can I get a photo? She said, oh, we don't do those things. But I think she was there with her female girlfriend at the time. That's kind of what it looked like. But it's fine. That was okay. But so I didn't really get close enough to her to get an energy kind of read on her. But definitely Idris and Quentin, and they were both dressed in super black. Not that there's anything wrong with wearing black, but they were just dark. Yeah, Idris is one of the first ones ordered to do the whole shenanigans in 2020, encouraging people to go with the narrative. He tested for what was going around then, so he was one of the ones that publicly was tested for it, which we know what that means. And Tarantino, I saw him about a year or two before COVID, when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood premiere came out, so I saw him at the hotel that he was at. But hey, Starfire. But you know what? Looking back, it was probably good I didn't get a picture of him. It's probably good. It's probably good, because yeah, I did get a picture of Al Pacino. Al Pacino was really nice and gregarious, and I don't know what the full truth would be, with Al would be. I don't think I've ever heard him publicly criticize President Trump or anything like that. Obviously, we know that Bob De Niro has, but Al, I've got to say, was just really nice, and I got a snap with him, got a picture with him, and he was just really gregarious and friendly to the audience. Whereas Scorsese, not nasty, just didn't really want to interact, and then Bob De Niro was just kind of grumpy, and that was at the Irishman premiere in London. But Al Pacino was running around. He was like kind of being kind of ushered off, but then he would want to run back to the rest of the crowd, take pictures, selfies, sign things. Hey Starfire, no, it's good. I enjoy it. It's good fun. You can carry on. But yeah, Al Pacino was decent with me. Whether it's 2.0, I don't know. I mean, you would think there's going to be some that are okay, but I mean, you look at the playlist, it's quite strong. But the Al Pacino I met was all right, and I didn't feel anything per se with him. I'm trying to remember, what did I feel? Maybe there's something there, maybe not, I don't know. I think just because I was happy to get a picture with him and he was cool. It was only about 15 seconds, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. It's a very peculiar game, isn't it, life, folks? All of this, the awakening. The truth is stranger than fiction. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Pacino. Hopefully he's all right, but you know, I wouldn't hold my breath on it. But if you're listening now, I've got to say you were cool when I met you. And he's in the film Heat, and Heat is in Tom Numbers, and he actually takes out De Niro. And I think maybe Michael Mann might be a white hat, because I've spoken to him on the phone as well. Christopher Nolan is a big fan of the film Heat. It's all going to come out at some point, folks. We're going to know who's who. We've got 259 in the chat. There you go, Dave259, and 109 thumbs up, which is Sight Club. So, anyway. All right, folks. I will see you tomorrow. And a lot of you are kind of new, or I haven't seen you for a while. You can get your scalar. The links are below. So a nice thing to head into the storm with. Also, a lot of you are now noticing the Butter Me Up organics. So if you want to, if we do go through a period of where we're kind of not getting access to everything that we want, why not get some healthy things like lotions, hair products, creams, shampoos, soaps, toothpastes. Gillian from Butter Me Up Organics, the link is below. Great products. I'm just reordering a new set of stuff for me, so go for it. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, folks. All right, much love, God bless. See you tomorrow. You take care. Bye.